Hey everybody, this is Charles Calhoun, aka the ShadeTree Pro. One of the things I've been looking a little bit on some of the posts and sense talking about, do you have to be a good player in essence or whatever to be a good teacher? And there's a part of me that says, I agree that you have to be somewhat of a good player to understand. Here's the thing as I say it. Can you teach golf without being a good player? Well, you could teach the basics and the understanding of it in a sense. And if you have a good player that's got a lot of trust and feel in you or something, they can play their game. So, because there's always exceptions to the rule. But I think the majority of out there have to be at some time or another had to be a good player, because what happens a lot, and I learned this as I got older or got more into the game, is that when you get under par, there's a physiological change in your body that you go, whoa, wait a minute, hold up. Your body changes. You can't pull the club back, whatever the deal is, or you pull it back real tight or something. That's why when a lot of people get towards that level of breaking, whether it's breaking 70 for the first time, breaking 90 for the first time, or something like that, there is a physiological change that goes through your body. And if you are not a teacher and you've not experienced that, then you don't know if those little things that you've read when no pressure is on you whatsoever that work, whether it's your grip or something of that nature, when you don't know that, then all of a sudden now, when the body changes and your student comes to you and they say, oh man, I felt this, and oh my God, and that's why I couldn't break 70 or I couldn't break 80 or couldn't do this, whatever. If you don't know those physiological changes, then you're going to go back and think about it's more mental or something of this nature. But sometimes, like I said, it's not mental. Sometimes it's just a physiological breakdown, in a sense that one little grip that you're squeezing with a certain this or that, it's just not going to work under pressure. That you may have to do something. You may have to combine certain things or whatever to get it. Swing may have to be shorter, longer, whatever the deal is. But those are the things. But one of the things also is that now I'm gonna argue for the people that are not teachers. That are not good players, but seem to get an understanding of the game. The argument that I say to that, is that it's nothing wrong with trying, because you got to start somewhere. So nobody started off as the greatest teacher. So at least I'd say, hey, you know what? You got to start somewhere. But I would recommend to those people, if you're not a good player, spend time working on your game in a sense, because it makes you look like a better teacher. And not only that, it actually makes you a better teacher the more you learn. What did Warren Buffett say? The more you learn, the more you earn. And that's just how it goes. Me, I've shot so many rounds in the 60s, it's not even worth it, even talking about it. But the thing is this, I know these things that happen to me, and I'm able, when a player comes to me, I've had tour player guys, mini tours or whatever, who's asked me questions, and I've explained things, and they're like, man, I've been playing for a while. I've never experienced that. I never understood why that happened, in a sense, But a lot of those physiological changes, and this is another reason that maybe a teacher that doesn't have all the experience in teaching, or maybe not be the best player in a sense, but shot some decent rounds, but maybe if they've come from a different sport and they understand the physiological changes that you go through, whether you get ready to hit a baseball or you're under that pressure of a running back or something, because a lot of the physiological changes that happened to me in golf, I actually could relate those back to my racquetball days. I was a really good racquetball player. I could go back to some of my football days, or some of those things, or just some of the things I introduced myself to the pressures in life of when my body changed. So always remember, there's always the possibility that somebody can do something, because the whole, like I say, what I write on the back of my Dead Fingers book, we're all collaborators in creation. We're always trying to figure things out. We're always trying to improve. So, all I tell you out there, if you want to be a teacher in a sense, the best thing I do is take it serious, because all the shining whistles and all that stuff, and that means nothing. Because when you really get somebody that can play, your only job is to improve them and make them better. Unfortunately, it's just too many out there that because it sounds good doesn't mean that it's absolutely good. And that's the biggest problem that we have in golf right now. Too much sounds good, but doesn't work. You know, when I say the club goes up and the club comes down and then it goes back up, there's no need of arguing and fighting that. I don't care about all the secondary stuff. The only thing that matters is the primary stuff. And so, like I said, when the club goes up, it comes down and it goes back up. And see, those are non-negotiable stuff. And so a teacher that does not have all the experience, you know, if they're serious about it in a sense, that's one primary thing that they can do right there is get the club up, get the club down, and bring it back up. And those who don't have the experience, hey, reach out to me. You know, reach out, give me a shout. You can check on my social media. Hey, I'm thinking about, you know, putting some little clinics together or whatever to teach some teachers or whatever about my top-down swing philosophy. And the most important thing you understand about my top-down swing philosophy is, like I just said, club goes up, club comes down, and it goes back up. And that's just the end all about how I teach anybody from the beginning how to swing a golf club and how to hit it consistent. Hey, this is Charles Calhoun, aka the ShadeTree Pro. I'm the Director of Instruction and owner of Under the Shade Tree at the Marriott Grand Vista in Orlando, Florida. Always good golfing.